Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another spiritualistic pick a card reading. I'd like to thank you so very much for being here and let you know that you're loved. Today I'm going to be channeling a message to you from the mushroom realm. Today's video is also in collaboration with the beautiful Lexi The Leo, and she will be taking a look at messages to you from the water realm. And so the link to her video will be below in the description box below. Please take a deep breath, drawing the energy up your spine, creating a clear and open channel on the inhale. And as you exhale, allow yourself to come into clear knowing which group or groups has your message in it for you today. We have group number 1 on the left with Source Gratitude. Group number 2 in the center with Full System Cleanse. And group number 3 on the right with DNA Activation. As always, the timestamps to your reading are listed below in the description box, as well as information about personal readings and Reiki sessions, all of the tarot and oracle decks that I've made, crystal jewelry that I make by hand, as well as all of the books that I've published. So as always, thank you so very much for being here. Thank you to you and your angel spirits, guides, ancestors, loved ones for connecting us here today. Thank you to Lexi for this beautiful collaboration, and I will see you at your reading. Namaste. Hi there, group 1. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today I'm channeling a message to you from the mushroom realm, and you selected the first group with the Source Gratitude card. Now, this card has the light code on the back to connect with Source Gratitude. These are light codes that hold DNA activation in them, and each one has different downloads within, so we'll keep in mind that this is an attunement to Source Gratitude, unconditional love. And if you'd like to pause the video and spend a moment with this card, I will put it in the corner of your reading and also use it to help channel your message today. The mushrooms want to let you know that something is turning around significantly in your life. You have noticed some crossroads that you've passed before, and as you walk through the same energetic patterns, you may notice that things are a lot different. Life feels a bit different. You look a bit different. You feel a bit different. And that some of the things that were brought to your consciousness, you did do the work to transmute, to heal, ascend, and to move forward from some of these difficult energies. There is, however, this energy of still feeling a little bit sensitive or raw, perhaps in these areas where you've been doing so much excavation work. So this is a beautiful moment to bring gratitude, or just the energy of source, the energy of light, and feed it into this space. Now that you have, I'll use the analogy, when you want to hold on to something, you have to let go of what you're already holding on to so that you have open hands to pick something new up. Our energy, our aura works the same way. So we notice that there's something here that you have done a really great job at chiseling out of your energy, at healing, at smoothing over, and now you have this space. And so the mushroom realm, first and foremost, wants to remind you that it's okay and it's safe to implement love and gratitude and these beautiful divine source healing energies into this space where the wound once was, where the pain once was. And they do want to reiterate that, yes, this is a journey, and they want to let you know as well that there are a lot of things that are occurring beneath the surface that do balance things out in the long scheme of things. You may have come to some sort of threshold or some sort of activation point or some sort of, I'm hearing someone say enough is enough, some sort of barrier here, some sort of boundary that cannot be crossed, will not be crossed. And we notice this line running straight through the center of this light code with all of these energies here swirling around and around and around this line, most of them being beneath the comfort zone, but some of them being outside of it as well. The mushroom realm is coming through today to let you know that there are certain things that seem entirely disconnected that are exactly connected. And the reason for that is exactly what it sounds like. They seem exact opposites. They seem exactly disconnected, which is exactly the thing that draws them together. They would like to, they're showing me actually like neuron patterns lighting up in the brain. There's this scattering of lighting things up in an order that is completely jumbled from where they're used to lighting up and a little bit of this conscious disintegration of certain patterns, so that you can not only break free of perhaps karma, perhaps energies that you've been working with for a long time, but as you have kind of found this new pattern, they want to let you know that just like mushrooms, right, when they grow, like the fungi realm, it's larger than the plants and the animals. It is actually the largest being that exists on our earth. And they're interconnected between everything. And so it's okay for you to kind of branch out of your comfort zone, because you will always find another pattern to connect to. You'll always find another grid to plug into. You will always have more to traverse, more to express. But there's also this energy of something either occurring behind the scenes or you feeling a bit left out or a little bit different, because the mushroom realm is saying that you, group one, are a lot like them. They feel perhaps that they are sometimes left out. They are neither flora nor fauna, and they are sometimes left out, even though there are more fungi than there are plants or animals. I think even combined, but don't quote me on that one. And they are not technically considered a plant, but sometimes they just get grouped in there. Sometimes they're seen as beautiful, sometimes they're seen as medicine, sometimes they're seen as magical, sometimes they're seen as really, really bad, sometimes they're seen as toxic. But it doesn't change what they are. It would be like looking at an entire collection of different types of plants and animals and just stamping an association on them without getting to know them more deeply. And so the mushroom realm would like to come through and sympathize with you, but they also want to let you know that now that you have this raw, open, vulnerable space that has been created and forged, and you've worked so hard in order to open it up, now is the beautiful part. Now is the part where you get to seed light and love and gratitude and beautiful energies in here. And you get to create a new beginning that allows you to feel connected in ways that you haven't felt connected before. Regardless of which ways you connect, maybe to spirit, to the people in your life, to plants, to animals, to the realm, to yourself, this is opening up new pathways of connection for you that will make you feel more connected to either connected to different things in the same way or connected to some of the same things in different ways. And this is where they're drawing attention again to. There are some things in your life that seem like they are not connected to each other, but they are. And it is whatever pinpoint of these things are not connected that they would like to draw your attention to, because that might be the axis point right there between how these two things are connected. You may be looking at a situation or group of situations in your life as yes or no, when in fact it might be, rather than a yes or no, it might be an if-then. For example, it is not my job to do this person's work for them. It is not my job to teach someone else this lesson. It is not my job to do all of the heavy lifting for those around me. It's not my job to do the work for those around me. But it is my job to be responsible for myself and know if and when they're ready for more. For example, it doesn't need to be, do I do this? Do I not do this? Do I show the love? Do I not show the love? Do I open my boundaries or do I set them up? Or it may be, if they are passing this threshold, or once they have passed this threshold, or once I have this time, once I have this space, then this is setting an energetic filter, but towards this energy specifically, then we can reimagine, then we can regroup, then we can see how we can make the best scenario possible that is filled with abundance and source gratitude and love, unconditional love, but not unconditional boundaries. The mushrooms, again, are aware that I'm hearing the word synapses. Like you seem to have synapses all over maybe the earth, all over different realms. There seem to be a lot of different connections that you have. Whether this is different spiritual gifts and abilities or different memories, maybe you've traveled all over the world, maybe you remember several of your lifetimes, however this manifests for you. You have several different synapses in your brain that are firing in a lot of different places. And there is an axis point there. That axis point is you. And so they want to remind you that you are the only one that has your path and has the capacity to tell your story. But there's also a reason why you have done all of this work to excavate what was really truly in there and do the work perhaps on behalf of those in your life. Do the work perhaps on behalf of your ancestors, your inner child, your higher self, your past, present, future, parallel lifetimes. It's not a yes or no, do I do the work or do I not do the work? It's if then. If I finish doing the work, then I'm free of these bondages. If I allow myself to explore what newness feels like, then that might not look like having these certain people or these certain situations in my life anymore. And again, this doesn't have to be the situation specifically, but the mushroom realm wants to let you know that the more that you welcome love and gratitude into your life, the more those neuron patterns will light up. And the more that will be habitualized for you, and the more that it's a habit, the more it becomes who you are. And the more that it becomes who you are, it's what you are in alignment with. And that is where you draw in not just gratitude, but things to be grateful for. It goes from being grateful to be a being on this earth, to being grateful to be one specific type of fungi, regardless of the small amount of people who can name different types of fungi. And there's something here, they're showing me like mushroom caps. Okay, a lot of times looking underneath the cap of the mushroom is actually how you identify them from other different types of mushrooms. Now, not all the time, but that is one of the largest identifying factors. And so there is something here where for you, in order to be seen fully, in order to be seen clearly, you have to look underneath it all, or you have to take the time to, as Lexi always says, dive to the depths, right? Like if I meet myself at my depths and you meet yourself at your depths, then we can see each other at that same depth. But otherwise, you'll be like an ocean staring at a pond, and you won't be able to understand what it's like from the other's perspective. The ocean knows what it feels like to be 2 inches deep, but the pond might not know what it feels like to be 20 miles deep. And so the mushrooms want to let you know that there are situations in your life where you might feel like just calling it yes or no, when in reality, this death and rebirth here is about the if-then. Because we have 2, 1, 3, which is 1, 2, 3, but it's letting you know that the action, the activation, the hard work, the nitty-gritty came first. And it was in order to show you the amount of gem that you are, the amount of beautiful being that you are, and the fact that there is more to go from here. I was having this meditation last night, and I was just kind of going through a lot of the transformations that I've been through in my own life. And this channeled message came to me, and it was, there are so many different types of transformation. There are soft ones, like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Or the caterpillar, it makes it home and it takes a nice long nap and it kind of gets to refresh itself and it's all protected and it's in its little cocoon and it's soft. And then eventually it transforms while it's resting. And then it turns into a butterfly and flies away once its wings are dry, it's been ready to flap and it's strong enough and then it can fly. There are other types of transformations, like the formation of a pearl or a diamond, that also has this like almost isolation cage, this case, but it's formed by pressure. Like a pearl, it's formed by continual wounds. So much so, it's like scar tissue getting built up, so much so that it becomes a beautiful tattoo, except it's an object, it's a pearl. Just like when we have beautiful art on our bodies, tattoos, what you're looking at is someone who has scarred their own body, but turned it into art. And there are like different types of transformations, and the mushrooms want to bring this to your awareness today. Some transformations are soft, some are gentle, some are nurturing, some are restful, some are loving, and some are pressureful. Some are uncomfortable, some are filled with friction and grit and unrelenting pressure. And there's this indication here that you have been through so much pressure in your life to change, maybe for survival, or maybe for expansion, or for whatever reasons. You or your soul, your individual life path has brought for you justice here. Karma, balance, Libra, humanitarianism perhaps, to fit in with friend groups, or to find who you truly are, your individual nature. Whatever the reason is, or reasons are, it's led you to your power. And you may feel, with the Emperor card and the Page of Wands coming out here, Ace of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, Page of Pentacles, you may feel as though you are ready for the next chapter of your life, but you may feel like you are not ready for this pressure yet again. And this is where the mushrooms want to let you know that it is most likely that you have a restful transformation. Oh, and here's the Empress coming out to confirm. Empress and the Emperor. This was meant to happen in this way, just like we saw 2, 1, 3 coming out first. Not 1, 2, 3, but 2, 1, 3. Maybe you feel the need to transform, you feel the need to go out on a limb, you feel the need to start something new, to express yourself, and you've set the boundaries, you have been cutthroat, you have restricted yourself, you have shrunk yourself and taken up space, you have experienced all of the different manifestations of your growth and of you. And because you've experienced all of these corners and you know it's time to expand, it's time to travel, it's time to light neurons up and have different synapses, and it's time for you to expand and connect with different fungi groups and just beautiful things. You might feel as though it's time to just pick up all those burdens and carry on again. And the mushrooms want to let you know that this is a restful transformation as well, and that you do have abundance on the way for you. I'm hearing the phrase soft girl era, and you don't have to be a girl or any particular gender at all for this to resonate, but this gets to be a beautiful, soft, and gentle transformation. Whereas it's not a yes or a no. It's not that making rough decisions and either restricting yourself 44 or teaching. It's not when you need to learn a lesson and you need to teach a lesson. So it's important that the lesson is downloaded correctly. It's like if you are learning how to speak a new language, for example, if you say something a little bit off, you can be saying something entirely opposite of what it is that you intend. And since it's not your natural first language, you might not be able to pick up on it or hear it right away. And so when you are teaching something that you are aware of, like this, it's so important that the information comes across correctly. And so there's kind of this indication of you're in your power, but you have to hold back the amount of power that you're showing. Because in some way, you are either in a leadership position, you are striving for a leadership position, or you are perhaps apprenticing under somebody with a leadership position. And so we see that there is one more time an opportunity for a transformation. We see that there is this space that is now feeling vulnerable, feeling a little bit soft, feeling open and ready for change. And you're being called to invite gratitude, source, light, love, all of those beautiful energies into this space as a frequency, without trying to put certain thought ideas or emotions or manifestations or visualizations, without you placing something in there. Merely add love and light and gratitude and source. And this will be what helps to vibrate a little bit differently within. And it will be what transforms you, but it will be a gentle transformation, a restful transformation, a soft girl transformation. And the Empress here, with the star underneath, this is going to be leading you towards one of your incarnations. I'm hearing purposes and desires at the same time. And they're showing me this if-then kind of situation as opposed to a yes-no situation once more. And they're sharing with me that, say there was something that you were never ever provided, maybe in lifetimes before or in your childhood or just in life in general. And so you had to create it, you had to build it yourself. And so because you had to build it yourself because it was not found outside of you, then you build something so that you can pass it on to others who might need what you never got. It's giving wanting to make sure that no one else ever feels the way that you did. But you still have to be that lone source provider for yourself and then many others as well. And so with this, we see you perhaps dealing with ancestral karma. We see you closing out patterns and having realizations. We see you allowing yourself to fall into gentleness, to receive, to allow the transformation to happen for you, and to allow those different synapses perhaps to fire a little bit differently so that it's more natural for you to at least be feeling things that are new. So you may be welcoming new experiences in your life. You might be experiencing transformations in a way where you are actually getting what you want. You are going to be provided with all of those things that you needed to figure out how to find for yourself, because they were not provided for you initially. They were not provided for you when you needed them. You didn't have the easy way out. You didn't have the guidebook. You didn't have the answers at the back of the book to tell you whether or not you were doing your calculus correctly. You simply had to figure it out. And there's no room for errors. There's no room for speaking up, no room for holding back either. Everything had to be specifically correct. And so we notice this transformation, but we also notice this like energetic kind of drainage that's coming along here. And the mushroom realm wants you to know that this time, perhaps packing up your memories, packing up your things, packing up those old emotions that you're letting go of, and whether or not you're donating them to charity or you're cleansing them out with some meditation or some herbs or whatever it is that you're doing, these things are, as you know, to be processed through and essentially redistributed so that they can be transmuted and changed into source, light, love, gratitude. And you know how to do these things. There's also an indication of being a bit tired, of feeling as though you're doing all of the work. And they're showing me again this example that they showed me about, it is not this person is in my life, yes, or this person is in my life, no. It is, if this person does the work and is able to meet me at my depths, if this person is willing to put the effort in, then we can have the conversation. If I feel that I am receiving what I need, then we can move forward from here. And it's not in a place of selfishness. It's in a place of, if you never received hugs, you might be the person that goes around giving everyone hugs, but then you're giving the hugs. Never do you just get hugged, because it would be nice for somebody to want to give that to you. This is the universe giving you that hug. The mushroom realm wants you to see that when you let go of making sure that those are provided with what you never got, you fall back and you notice that you had enough for you too, even though you had to build it on your own. And it's going to start coming from outside of you, finally. And a lot of this is going to encourage you to experience new things, experience new emotions over situations that might look familiar. It will discombobulate your mind, your body, your spirit, your location, your surroundings, your materials, the people in your life a little bit. And that is why there are things that are disconnected in your life that are actually directly connected. That is why there are things that are connected currently in your life that might be getting separated and divvied up. Right now, they're showing me, you know that way of scrambling cards around, of like shuffling cards where you literally just take them and you like make a huge mess on the table by swishing them around everywhere? That's kind of what's occurring for you, but trust that there's a pattern to it. Just like when you take a walk through the forest and you see a mushroom or a clump of mushrooms or a fungus, you might just see one big one or a couple small ones. But what you don't see is that even your microbiome, every single person that you know and love, every single step that you've ever taken on concrete, in forest, anywhere, it has fungi all intertwined within all of it. It is the secret provider of life. It is the one that gets overlooked. It is the one that provides the microbiome, that provides the health blueprint, the one that provides the information to the trees, from the birds, from the grass. It is literally the secret giver and provider of life. No different from source, from God, from light, from love. Just like you, the place that you've decided to take in your life, the role you've decided to play, through karma, through not receiving, through deciding to give, through being, through transforming, through selecting the pressure to be perhaps the cycle breaker of your family, to perhaps do the thing that would have been nice if it was there for you so you could have lived a different life, but instead you decided to take the move of integrity. You decided to make sure that no one else experienced what you did, in at least the ways that you could. And now you're removing these boundaries from your life. Not the boundaries, but the burdens from your life that don't belong to you. And these boundaries begin to shift a little bit from, I said what I said, it's a yes or a no. call it a day, we move on from these quick decisions under a lot of pressure to, well, wait a minute. Now let's set a filter. If we're able to have a conversation, if we're able to have creative alignment, we might have creative differences, but if we're able to compromise, then let's move forward. If the creative differences are so significant, then I'll move forward alone. But either way, it's no chip off your shoulder. If, for example, now this always gets me, it looks like barbed wire around her wrist here. If you feel tied and bound and chained to being a nurturer, being a protector, being a lover, being a provider, making sure that others don't feel the way that you felt, that intention enough sends out information throughout the universe, even with your mouth closed, even without consciously setting that intention and sending it out. You having your experience helps to evolve all of the rest of the experiences that are simultaneously occurring on and off this earth. And it is very much that which is unseen, that which may be unappreciated, that is the powerhouse. And we see this replicated in so many different ways, positive and negative, throughout our collective. Those who hold the most power are the ones we don't even know exist. Those who help out the most are usually the ones who don't ask for the credit. Those who have the largest numbers of populations are often the ones that are overlooked. Much like the mushroom realm. They want to let you know that you deserve to receive the magic and the love and the gratitude that you put out there. And that you also deserve to not need to be rolling up your sleeves all the time. We have this energy of home coming out with the 44. And there's something here about almost a fresh start or a permanent landing spot. The Four of Pentacles can sometimes be like a nomadic energy because she's moving her home. Oftentimes we'll see something depicted like a castle and someone has everything that they need except that one pentacle is like out the window and she has to flop out the window to try to grab it. A little bit of Rapunzel vibes there. We have this indication of like leaving your home or staying at your home and settling. This do I stay or do I go? This yes or no energy. And it's evolving into a if this energy is ready to be shifted, then the shift shall occur. If this energy is ready to evolve, then the evolution shall occur. We're not looking for yes or no. Will it or will it not? Is it going to happen now or is it going to happen never? We're not looking at this. Not any longer. The Mushroom Realm would like to draw your attention to all of the work that you have done on behalf of yourself and the integrity that you hold in order to make you the first at something, the best at something, a leader at something, a teacher of something, an authoritative position on something. And the parts of you that never got expressed because you needed to hold that integrity in order to become that very person, those are the parts that you're letting go of. And that is why this transformation that's on its way for you is soft. That is why it is the unseen beings that are coming through for you today. That is why it is the beings that, can cause paranoia and craziness if you interact with it. When in reality, the only thing that can create paranoia is a lack of understanding of what is occurring. Much like when we talk about magic. Magic is merely something that is inexplicable. To the person calling it magic, it doesn't make it non-explainable. We just have a fun little sparkly word for that which one is not able to conceive yet. And that's okay. But here we have a conception of something with the Empress. Here we have a conception in place. And so the mushrooms want to let you know that you can speak on this, but you don't have to. They want to let you know that you can have, look, we have two swords here, right? On the Queen of Swords and the Justice card. You can have weapons and be skilled at using them and not need to. You can have all of the answers in the world. That doesn't mean you need to share them. You can have your own wants, wishes, and desires and fulfill them, instead of fulfilling the role that is so needed of you that you just seem to fit the perfect mold for. This is, in a sense, energetic sovereignty, in a way that walks you through your humanitarian soul mission, soul purpose, before you get to express who you've always wanted to be. But you get to carry forward with you, yes, those stories and how you grew out of them. Yes, the different layers and chapters of your life. Yes, the fact that you were able to create something that wasn't there when you needed it. You were able to give out those hugs when you needed them. You were able to create that thing that didn't exist before you needed it and decided to put it together. You are leaving behind a legacy. And the things that you travel with you, each are going to hold a different story for you. And when you are in a new place, on the other side of this gentle transformation of yours, and you lay out all of the things that you've carried with you, each one holds a specific story, a specific part of you, that each seem unrelated because each one comes from a different chapter of your life. They're showing me like little traveling mementos. Say you get a little tiny trinket from every place you've ever been. And eventually when you're like older, you take all of these out and each one holds a story and it holds an entire segment of time behind it. And one might just see a bunch of little charms or a bunch of little trinkets or whatever, but it is what is within all of these things that is what makes them magical. That is what makes them you. It is the collection of these trinkets that tells your story. It is the collection of your particles that tells your story. It is your ability to feed love into the space of yours that is now vulnerable and ready for a shift, but perhaps a little tired. Perhaps a little ready for your trinkets to be read, for your trinkets to be appreciated. And so we see that rather than a yes or a no, we have this if-then. Well, if you are looking at all of your mementos, you can just appreciate them and have love and gratitude for them and maybe take a trip down memory lane. And if somebody asks you about them, then you can share your stories. If someone has interest in each one, then you can share the story of the culture that you got it from and why that's so significant to that place. If, not yes or no. Because it's not either you have your charm box or you don't. It's not either you do the thing or you don't. It's if these circumstances lead in a way that serves you, then you will explore that synapse. But other than that, you are exploring new territory. Things are getting reorganized within and outside of you. And it's important that you remind yourself of all that you've been through to get to where you are for you. That doesn't mean that you do or do not have to share them, because you've already had the realizations, you've already broken the cycles, and now you're ready to experience a death and rebirth, a transformation, a glow up, a level up in a way that feels just as beautiful as the end result looks. It's not always that chaotic storm that leads to that beautiful glow up. Sometimes the process is beautiful and more important than the end result. And a lot of times, I mean, you're here, we've done our shadow work, right? Sometimes it's gnarly. But this is not a pressurization into a diamond. This is not getting so scarred that it turns into a beautiful tattoo, or getting so scraped that it turns into a pearl. This is like being a small, squishy, wormy little caterpillar and just kind of wiggling your way into a cozy blanket and just flopping over. And then eventually emerging as a beautiful butterfly. A sign, a symbol that everyone finds beautiful and everyone knows what it means. Everyone knows that the butterfly took a journey in order to be what that is. No butterfly was just born a butterfly. And just letting yourself be like a worm for a little bit. I'm sorry, but for lack of a better term. I love that the little, like, they're showing me a worm and an apple and like the mushrooms and like the little elves and just these cute little magical here I go using the word magic again, but this beautiful energy here, letting yourself like fire out your synapses in like a different way, but letting it be beautiful, not something that's alarming, not something that you need to be afraid of, or, oh, here we go again, like another transformation. Like, the universe is saying, like, the mushroom realm has so much to offer, and if one is open to receiving the guidance from the mushroom realm, then the guidance will be received. If one wants to, I don't know, hang out in the mushroom realm, but they're not open to the guidance, then they'll have a jolly, good old, funny, silly time, but they don't get always the substance out of it. Some have fear associated with that, and so they don't ever get to give themselves the opportunity. And here we see something where you say yes, and you might feel like it's time, you're ready, let's do this. You have the spiritual wherewithal, you have the understanding, you have the energy, but maybe you're tired. Maybe you're like, I don't want to go through this again. Am I walking into a storm? Is it going to be heavy? And am I doing this alone? And the mushroom realm wants to let you know that this is going to be a soft transformation. It's going to be enjoyable. The process will be just as beautiful as the result, if not more. And I'm actually hearing a lovely poem that I love, and so I'm going to recite it to you because that is who I am. It is Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced into a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight, and learned too late they grieved it on its way, do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death who see with blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay, rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray, do not go gentle into that good night, rage, rage against the dying of the light. And that is the poem. And it's kind of like a call to arms. It's essentially saying the mushroom realm wants you to muster up the strength to crawl, to squirm, to flop into your cocoon, because that will be one of the most beautiful experiences that you have in your life, and that it's worth one more go around. Sometimes that which provides life is sometimes the least appreciated. Some people wonder whether or not there's God, and they argue about different manifestations of this God or that God or many gods or my God or your God or source or light or whatever. Or mushrooms. Are they good? Are they bad? Do they exist? And whatever this resonates for with you, Group 1, the mushroom realm wants you to believe in your own magic, regardless of what's going on around you. And they want you not to go gentle into that good night, but trust that when you get there, it will be quite gentle and enjoyable. So let yourself be vulnerable, let yourself be soft, let yourself enjoy the process. And it's okay if you have to crawl your way there, frankly, but you're worth it. It's worth it. And feed love and light and gratitude and source and unconditional love into every single thing that you do, just like you always have, just like you always will, just like you knew that you would. And when newness presents itself to you, do not go gentle. Face it bravely, face it boldly, and trust that just because you are a master with your weapon does not mean that you ever will need to take it out again. Okay, group number 1, that is your channeled message from the mushroom realm. I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity on your situation. And as always, I'm sending you all my love, light, and gratitude. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful, miraculous realm. If you feel you want to check out other piles, you're more than welcome to do so. And don't forget to check out Lexi's messages from the water realm. in the description box below. Again, thank you so very much for being here. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, group number 2. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today I'm channeling a message to you from the mushroom realm, and you selected the second group with the full system cleanse card. This reading is in collaboration with the beautiful Lexi The Leo, where she's channeling messages from the water realm, so check out the link to her readings down below in the description box as well. You selected the full system cleanse card, and this is actually a light code. So this is a light code that has activations and codes and downloads within it to help you with a full system cleanse. This is intended to help you open up to the full blueprint of your cleansed system so that you have a baseline to base your healing and adjustments on. This is without timelines and realities that you are creating, so this is just a very clear, clean space for you to utilize as a come back to center point. And it's interesting that you selected this too, because the mushrooms want to speak to you about yes, coming back to center, and noticing that when you do, there are certain, I'm hearing embellishments along the way that kind of allow for you to come back to center, but also be sure that yes, this is the universe hearing you. Yes, this has your energy on it. For example, little winks and messages from the universe. Maybe it's not something like 222 or 1111. It might be something a little more personalized than that, like the car of the person that was on your mind, or your favorite thing that only you and the universe know about, like little things like this. Little embellishments that let you know that you're on the right track, or the universe sees you, listens to you, and they see also the sacrifices that you've made in order to get from one point to another. There's a strong energy of connectivity here, and almost wanting to smooth out any like connective areas. You might be focused heavily on relationships in your life at this time, or just the way that you interact or connect with other things or other beings or other people, and wanting everything to be even. Perhaps the amount of energy that you give to all different areas of your life. A good framework for that are the 12 houses in astrology that splits up 12 areas of life, so you can kind of take a look at where you are giving energy and where could use more energy, what's easy, what's hard. We see here this coming back to center moment, this full system cleanse. We see that there are perhaps some things from childhood or past life, or both, or your ancestors, something that is coming up here within your aura that is time for you to press out of your aura. And with this full system cleanse, it's kind of showing you that you are coming from a transparent place. You are in a place where you can see what that energy was, what that energy is, and what it looks like for that not to be there. And then kind of have you make that slight shift and align into that energy so that you can continue moving forward. It's kind of like when you decide to quantum shift or timeline hop or something like this, and you're able to backtrack, and now you have this new energy to align with, and then you move in alignment with that, and it might have you doing things a little bit differently than you initially would have. Not that what you would have done was wrong, but that it is now in alignment with something else, like a higher level of consciousness, or a clear system, an energetic blueprint, or your next timeline, your next shift, your goals, for example. If you want to bulk up, you will use heavier weights in the gym. If you want to focus on your core strength, you will do more Pilates and abdominal exercises, things like this, where it's a little more specified. It's alignment with where you want to go. And this with the full system cleanse card. The mushroom realm wants to let you know that you have your home base solidified. You know where to find your center. They're showing me somebody who has traveled all the way up, all the way down, all the way out, all the way side to side, and all of the spheres and everything. You can make any shape, and you will have been there at least once. Will have tidied those corners at least once. And now you're at this place of balancing everything out. In your energy, in the streams of consciousness of yours that are in past, present, future, parallel lifetimes, in your ancestral lineage, with your inner child, different versions of yourself, your connection from you to source, all the different realms that you travel. The mushrooms want to let you know that you have recently experienced some new things grounding into your reality, and you might notice that these give you a direct streamline to source, or like a direct pipeline to where it is you want to go. Or you might have been picking up on this message, and it might feel like you're being focused a little bit on maybe your physical body, your material realm, the way that you interact with the material realm. I've heard a lot of spiritualists say the true work is not doing the work internally. It is the way that you interact with the world after doing that work, right? And I think that both are true. Honestly, I think that it's all, if you're doing the work, it counts, right? Sometimes it's inward, sometimes it's external, sometimes it's both, but one is not complete without the other. That is for sure. And so the mushrooms want to let you know that, first of all, you are activated, you are safe, you are protected, you have a full picture view of maybe a situation or just things in general in your life. And it's time for that baseline of yours to shift ever so slightly. Not because it's wrong, but I'm hearing because you deserve better, or because you can do better. I'm hearing work smarter, not harder. Or there's something where maybe you're just leveling up. Like if we look at life as a video game, for example, some levels are just really for fun, really for expression, really for exploration. Whereas the one before it might have been super difficult and had challenges hitting you every way you look. And when you go from here and you look back at level 1, you'll realize how easy level 1 was. But it's only easy now because you learned the lessons, you know what the map looks like, you saw the grid, you have those tools, you know what to do, what buttons to press, and so on and so forth. And so the mushroom realm wants to let you know that you are safe, you are protected, and you are filled with love. And it's time for you to infuse a little bit more of what you have to offer into your material life. Not just into the earth, but into your actual life. You have done so much of the internal work. You have done such a great job at putting that work out there, being that person. But they're showing me this in like 3 steps. There is you doing the internal work to grow, release, heal, ascend. There is you doing the external work to walk throughout your life like this person. And then there is you building a life that is essentially that new pot. Like when you're a plant, you outgrow a pot and you get planted in a new one. Like this. This is an opportunity for you to, where you're being called to be the person that you've grown into and then create the life around that person. So you might be highly focused on maybe the material realm, or you may have been called to focus on the material realm a bit more in the past. And you'll notice that there are spiritual reasons for this. As I always like to say, there is a point where you can get so spiritual that it becomes rational and grounded. And there's a point where you can ground yourself so much that it becomes spiritual. It is like a big circle or an infinity sign. It's not one or the other. It's not, I'm so spiritual, I need to ground myself. I'm not so grounded, I need more spirituality. It is when you're bouncing back and forth between the two, but diving so deep into one will inevitably lead you into the other. So there's kind of this situation here where you have this spirituality that you've grown into, and you've embodied this person, you've embodied this beautiful energy, you've embodied this full system cleanse, this purification of self, of your entire system. And now you're coming from a place of fulfillment internally and being asked to build what that fulfillment looks like to you creatively as a human being in your life, not just in the way that you interact with others, although that's a start, but in the actual life that you live too. Little things like, what color do I want my walls? What kind of experiences do I want to have? Not just what would I be doing if I was this person I'm growing into, or not just I come from light and I've learned this lesson, so that's how I interact with another person. It is that creating and cultivating an environment that is the beautiful garden around that beautiful plant that is you. And letting yourself decorate it a little bit. Not just tend to it properly. not just grow yourself. Okay. We have the Sun at the back of the deck. I will shuffle, but I wanted to come out. Messages, please, to group number 2 from the Mushroom Realm. Okay, thank you. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I was hearing, if I'm shining, everybody's gonna shine. And also that working on yourself is the best thing that you can do for others in your life. You might feel a little bit spread thin at the moment, or you might have been focusing so much on your own like personal fulfillment, material abundance, cultivating your own wisdom, maybe becoming financially secure, or making sure that you have a good roof over your head, working on your health, whatever this is, Nine of Pentacles. Self-fulfillment within your own life, in your own you and you. Okay, Nine of Cups, I see you. Self-love all day. Okay, you're coming to a close of this journey. That doesn't mean you stop your self-love journey. It doesn't mean your self-love stops. No, no, but it's the opposite. It is where you have emerged now successfully as this new version of you that is ready to now walk out of the environment that caused you to instigate the self-love journey that you have completed. Okay, they're kind of showing me like the universe putting you in a little bubble for a while so that you can kind of get used to creating a routine out of whatever is healthy for you. Say you get put in like a situation for a while, and that situation makes it so easy for you to work out, to eat healthy, to meditate, to go out in the sunshine, to hang out with your friends, to have health in every area of life. Now it's time for this to move forward. Maybe in the past you were like, well, if only I was out of this situation, then I would be able to grow and move forward. And then it was kind of utilizing the resources. It's not the resources, it's the resourcefulness and cultivating self-love from that. And now you've climbed to the top of that mountain. You have this full system cleanse going on. Now you're at a blank slate. You are stepping into the results of the hard work that you've done. And we see this Nine of Pentacles going to the Ten of Pentacles, indicating that you will experience more positive results. You will experience more happiness, and you will not be alone for this next chapter of your life. Although you might feel as though, notice that the Ten of Pentacles is landing where this like burning bowl is that she's walking away from on the Eight of Cups card. You might feel as though you're walking into the next chapter, leaving behind a manifestation that you're detaching from, getting even happier, living that life that shoulda, woulda, coulda, having somebody in your life around you, or celebrating whatever this is alone, doing a self-love journey, but also having friends around you that are on a self-love journey. So they get it. They get why it's important. Okay, not just, yeah. So we have the Strength card at the back of the deck with the Four of Swords. Yeah, okay. So coming through quickly to honor how far you've come, how much you've grown, how strong you really are, especially in the ways that no one has seen, and honoring the decisions that you've made. You always pick the right one every time, okay? And this is because it's like the Mushroom Realm wants to come through and let you know that whatever system you use to identify your tasks, okay? Maybe you listen to your intuition, maybe you're very clairsentient, maybe you always follow your heart, maybe you set up a yes-no system with your guides, maybe you are very clairvoyant, maybe you look at different timelines and you select one. Whatever it is that you do, you always seem to make the right decision all the time. And that's not saying that there is a wrong decision, but it's saying that they had the Seven of Cups and the Lovers coming out for you. It's kind of saying that when you are faced with seven different options, you pick the Lover's grade option every time. You pick the divine choice. You pick the highest vibrational choice every single time. It's not always the pretty one. It's not always the fast one. It's not always the one that puts you as Mr. and Mrs. Person popular. It's sometimes the one that has you going on solo journeys, detaching from what it is that you want, being in environments that you have to outgrow because you need to learn what it feels like to grow and to outgrow. So you might as well take them all at once. It's kind of showing like somebody who has a wish in their heart, right? With the Nine of Wands and the Hanged Man, and deciding, well, if it's not showing up, then it must not be for me, so then I must not want it, so let me try to grow out of wanting it. And then we see this Three of Cups coming around a situation or community with the Ten of Cups. Look, we have 99 Pentacles and Cups, and then we have 10, Pentacles and Cups. Coming out even in the same order. You are not alone. You are not alone, and you do have a new beginning that is on its way for you. And it's going to be very foundational in exactly the ways that you thought you needed to not want, which is kind of funny. Just because just because you need to detach from something for it to exist, because as we know, every energy is omnipresent. Okay, so if you want something to appear, it must disappear. If you want something to show up in your life, you must detach from what it is that you want in order for that to occur. And not in a way where you're like playing go fish with the universe, because, you know, we can do that sometimes too, but genuinely detach from it. But it's not wrong for you to have those wants, wishes, needs, and desires. But you've learned the lesson. You've made the higher vibrational choice. Each time you made the harder choice. You made the choice to take on 10 lessons at once and lift a heavier weight instead of just shuffling by and picking it up your next incarnation or whatever. And so now we see you have full system cleanse. And it's kind of this point of cleansing and activation simultaneously. It's like they're showing me somebody dipping their finger in a clear pool and noticing the ripples go around it, but you can see everything shifting underneath the water because the water is clear. You can see what is drawn towards the ripples, what's drawn away from the ripples. You can see what is coming up to check out your little finger that you dipped in the pool. And you have that full clarity, that transparency. The mushroom realm wants to come and let you know that you've been having a lot of maybe significant dreams or experiences or visions or feelings lately. Whatever it is that is part of your process for you to make these grand decisions, but these are coming through in ways where they're kind of giving you grand ideas or grand visions or grand possibilities. It's kind of upping the ante a little bit when it comes to the realm of possibility for your life. And it's because it's almost trying to, I'm hearing the words irk and irritate, which doesn't feel like it matches the vibe that I'm feeling, but it's the word that's coming through. Okay, so it might be me, it might be the mushrooms. Okay, but it wants to kind of almost, I'm hearing that phrase, if I didn't make you uncomfortable, you wouldn't have moved, right? Like love the universe. The mushroom realm wants to let you know that there's a reason why they're presenting you with these visions, with these dreams, with these possibilities, with these desires. And it's because it is authentic with you, but also because it's time for you to start cultivating the garden around the plant that you are. For a long time, when you are first like a little seed and you start to sprout little roots, you want to make sure that the temperature is correct. You have to make sure that the humidity is correct. You want to make sure that everything is going well so that you can have enough roots to be planted. And then once you're planted, you have to make sure the soil is tended to just so. You're tending to all the different pieces so that it can grow into a sapling. But now, you're a tree that's not going anywhere. Your roots are secure. You've grown to significant heights. And so now it's time to start building a garden around the tree. And so the tree is actually what is sustaining all of the life around it because it already has good roots. It already has nutrients. It's already giving out signals. This soil is good. The soil is safe. This is a good plot of land. You can grow here. We can grow here. That's already a given. So the mushroom realm wants to come through and let you know that you are entering symbiotic relationships and symbiotic success and symbiotic desires and symbiotic experiences in your life. Because yes, everything is connected, everything is entangled, but now they're showing me just using the library I have in my brain, okay, the realm of experience that I have to channel these messages. So just follow along for a moment. As a grid worker, we will find certain grids to plug into. We will align with a certain grid, and then we will align into that grid. It's like if you find a vibration and you want to kind of align with it, right? Same with quantum leaping. You will ascend to that vibration. And for some of us, that'll be like opening up a chakra, or it'll be having certain spiritual experiences, or it will be like aligning to another life, whatever it is, just ascending in general to a higher vibrational grid. And then you match that grid vibrationally, and then you outgrow it. So then it's time to unplug from that old grid and plug into something new. And oftentimes, it's kind of like when you rock climb, and you have to kind of put that anchor up there before you can climb your way up. I mean, you don't have to if you're doing like free solo, but hopefully you get the picture. It's like climbing yourself up to the anchor that was set for you. And then when you're there, you set a new anchor, or you enjoy the view. And so this is kind of where you are. It's like you've climbed up to your anchor, and now you experience this symbioticness. Now you are part of the, I don't know why I'm hearing Mount Kailash, but I'm hearing it. Maybe this is a spiritual metaphor because that would make a lot of sense. I climbed Mount Kailash group, okay, of people. Now you are in this little exclusive club Three of Cups of people who can say, I made it this far in my journey, or I've been through this and it's okay, or I grew through this, or I made it to this point in my spiritual journey or my ascension process. And it's not for bragging rights, okay, by any means. But the mushroom realm wants you to know, okay, that you have this new beginning here, and it's foundational. You've now grown to a point where your roots are grown. You've sprouted up very tall, and the depths and the heights are one and the same. You're like Jack and the Beanstalk. Like, the roots are so deep that they go to the heavens, and the plant is so tall that it goes into the earth. And it's kind of like this web or this grid of fungi, of mushrooms that entangle throughout the entire earth, on top of the earth, within its beings and its microbiome, microorganisms, macroorganisms, just all over the place, within the earth, through the earth. And we haven't even identified all of them yet. They have a lot more information about the earth than we do. And so tapping in with that is kind of a beautiful, beautiful way to pick up on more information, utilizing however it is you've been making your life's decisions. So now we have opening up the realm of possibilities. Now we have different information that you're able to tap into, because you're not using survival information. You're not using information to make sure that your seed grows roots so that it can be planted in soil after its germination. This is not making sure that the soil is being tended to so much so that the tree can then grow to harvest. You have done this a few times. You already know what's going on. You are now at a place of full cleansing where you're able to actually cultivate the garden outside of you. You're able to actually bring this joy into and around others who have shared the same experiences as you, who have the same life goals as you, who have learned the same things as you, where you, yes, have each other to learn from, but not in a way where it's so that you can learn and then outgrow, and then learn and then outgrow. It's so that you can symbiotically learn and grow together, like a garden. One of you might be an orchid, another one might be an apple tree, but you are growing together for the span of your life, because now you can cultivate a garden. Now it's a little bit less, we require wheat and we require certain greens and certain fruits. Now, this is, you know what flower smells really beautiful? You know what just magnetizes the bees in? You know what would just look so pretty right there? You know what I really love the vibe of? That is what you're being called to explore. Because you've come to this place of coming back to center, coming back to a cleansed space. And when you do, it's different now. It's different now because you no longer need to run around the corners of the garden making sure that everything is cleansed, everything is growing, everything is okay. This is a little bit more, the weeding is done, everything is grown, all the nutrients are there, everything grows to harvest, it has a few times. So now you can get a little fancy with it. You can get a plant that's harder to take care of, or you can add some decorations. You can welcome in some different species. And that doesn't mean that weeds won't grow sometimes, but now that you're on top of them, when one starts to grow, you can pluck it out if that's what you choose to do. If one plant starts to need a little more love and attention, you are already on top of that, so you can. It's giving, whether or not you feel this way, you have like your SHIT together. And the mushroom realm wants to come through and let you know that that's okay, that's normal. Now you can plug into a grid that like entangles itself throughout the entire earth, like the mushrooms do. So maybe now you'll have opportunities perhaps to travel, or perhaps to expand in business, or perhaps to expand into other areas of life where you haven't gotten to pay as much attention as you once wanted to. Maybe you're able to tie different things together. Maybe you're able to not just pass through people as lessons, but grow alongside them. And we notice here, perhaps taking some time to write down your experiences. And they're showing me just this cute little example, like life from the perspective of a mushroom, life from the perspective of a fungi. And it's not necessarily, hi, my name is George and I'm on plot like 12C in so-and-so's garden. It's a little more, so the entire world is technically part of my being, right? And the entire world has like information that it's always sending me back and forth. And like I have eyes everywhere because everywhere is me, right? This is kind of like a very grounded vibration of cosmic consciousness from the perspective of source, from all is one is all is the same being. And sure, there are little individual mushrooms, but they're all part of the same system. They all have the same thoughts and feelings and emotions, and they can send those thoughts, feelings, and emotions and information to one another specifically because they too are a collective, but they're not as hyper individualized as we are or perceive ourselves to be. And so there's this energy here of you kind of collectivizing maybe your own life, collectivizing the energies around you at this time, maybe tapping in with your own collective here on Earth or beyond or whatever you're doing out there, and using this now collective perspective, this cosmic perspective, to let yourself send this information across the grid, to let yourself like do the grid work on the Earth, or to let yourself like create. They're showing me Make Your Life a Canvas, the card in the Starseed Oracle deck, to create a beautiful life, to create a beautiful garden, because you know that everything there grows and it doesn't need as much attention. It's like when your house is clean, when you're all organized and stuff, when you have one dish, it's a lot easier to just do the dish than it is to say, okay, I have to clean my entire house today. There's a whole pile of dishes. You have to kind of get on top of it. But when you stay on top of it and you're used to staying on top of it, it kind of gives you more autonomy to maybe get a hamster or maybe get a plant or maybe get the fancy dishes that you didn't get the first time because you thought you wouldn't clean them or you thought you would break them. It's kind of giving, okay, you've leveled up. You're used to the level up. Now what? Now you have more autonomy. Now you are part of a symbiotic system. And now you see beyond the veil, so much so that it's grounded, it's tactical. And you see so much into the earth that it's spiritual, it's infinite. So with that, yes, the world is your oyster. Where do you want to go? What do you want to create? What do you want to do? We see success in groups or group celebration, or we see you putting yourself out there collectively and gaining insight from it in the future part of your spread. And we see this bringing you fulfillment, not being tied to the fulfillment, and noticing that this physical abundance turns into light and emotional and spiritual abundance. It turns into not just abundance, but fulfillment, which is kind of that other side of abundance. They're kind of two sides to the same coin. They're kind of synonyms, but they're also kind of not. And so we see you kind of learning this and taking this into stride and then looking at this abundance and this fulfillment and this light and this detachment from a cleansed place, from an abundant place. And the Eight of Pentacles, it's kind of saying, well, now what? Now I'm used to putting all this energy out there. Now I know exactly how to build something. Now, it's kind of giving, well, you're so used to running around taking care of all of these things, but now all of the things are taken care of. You still have this energy, you still have this routine, you're taking care of yourself, but you're back at the baseline. You're back to center. And so we have 10 of Swords and the 5 of Pentacles. If you're tired, be tired. We have 10 and 5. This is hard work, like crunchy energies, but it's also walking away from something difficult. And so the 5 of Pentacles, it's having the lock and having the key and having the door right in front of your face, but just being so freaking tired or feeling like you're locked out of it. So with the 6 of Pentacles, we notice that there's some sort of, again, symbiosis that's occurring here, which may or may not stress you out. So continue following your intuition. Again, they want to reiterate that whatever system you have been using, okay, it has been cleansed, it has been purified, it has been adjusted. So if you feel called to express a little bit differently, to go somewhere new, to try something a little spunkier, or to get that decoration, or to build your house out, or get some new decor, whatever it is. The 8 of Wands here. Maybe learn a new language. Now you have the time. Or add another plant to the garden because you have the time. Follow your passion and trust that it will lead you towards, yes, your ultimate fulfillment, because you already feel like that's where you are, or you will very soon if that's not where you are already, because we have in the center spread the Hangman here, but it's kind of like weaning into the past side a little bit. You're stepping into this celebratory energy that's going to turn into abundance, that's going to turn into fulfillment, emotionally and spiritually, but it's also beautifully detached and willing to put in the work. It's work that must be done, but you're attached from it because you enjoy the process. You enjoy where you are. You have enough. You are enough. You feel enough. We have this spiritual, the Eight of Cups, walking towards the light, detachment. Eight of Pentacles, willing to put in the work, the elbow grease, rolling your sleeves up. This is working at 2 a.m. because you've got a side hustle that you really don't want to give up on. It's giving you're studying all night because you want to get those straight A's. And we have 88, which is abundance. Eternal energy. It's infinite. It's divine. It's bringing the darkness to light, the sadness to joy. It's energetic transmutation, and it's material abundance as well. But that abundance, it gets to be what you're passionate about. It gets to be travel. It gets to be languages. It gets to be expression. It gets to be communication. It gets to be fun. And of course, it's intuitive. So don't stress yourself out about whether it's spiritual enough to enjoy your physical life or whether it's rational enough to dive into your spiritual life. That is what you're walking away from. That stress, that pressure. Paint your life in the way that makes you really happy. The mushrooms want you to know that they see you stressing out. They see you trying to figure out what your dreams mean or trying to align to the vibration that you plug into when you find that next grid. And they want you to roll with the punches and trust that you're moving a lot faster than you think you are. And that might be why it looks like everything's moving so fast. If you're in a car if you're used to being in a car that goes 5 miles an hour, you look out the window, or kilometers per hour, I don't know where you are, then everything will move past at a certain pace and you will get used to that pace. All of a sudden, if you get on a train and that train is going 100 miles or kilometers per hour and you look outside, it looks a lot different. It might be a little bit dizzying. So sometimes, like we say in sailing, if you start to get seasick, find land and look at the land. Find something that's still, but not on the boat. Or look at the horizon if there's no land there. Find an anchorage point and utilize that. Find a Pinterest board, make a vision board, but continue to follow that exploration of your spiritual or material or both realms, because now you have this collective experience. You have this collectivization, which actually just means something that's waxing, something that's increasing in energy. And it's like literally 3 times a larger cycle following the golden ratio to the individualization energies. So you're going to notice that now you have an opportunity to make your own decisions and consolidate them and then combust and release them. Bring some more character into it and educate on what that even means for you to find that character. We then have transfiguration and reconstruction of that, and then retention of it, learning to keep it, having appreciation, gratitude for it, and then being receptive towards the transference of being grateful for where you are and ascending out of that. Then we have the crystallization, the permanence of it, and then group performance, all of the things that we're seeing in your reading. From there we have contribution and perspective. Those are the Aquarian humanitarian energies. And when you have the perspective after helping others, you have this innocence and this purity that comes alongside it and this perpetuation. And so this is what we see. You coming into a waxing cycle, having a full completed energy, a collectivization energy as well with this cleanse. And so now what we're stepping into is this collectivization. And so the mushroom realm wants you to let yourself see things a little bit differently, not from a place of perhaps survival, but from a place of passion, from a place of expression, from a place of individualization, but also of genuine abundance. Not just how can you be resourceful with the resources you have, but how can you take abundance and turn it into fulfillment? As above, so below, as within, so without. And also receiving the opposite of that. As without, so within. As below, so above. It's that kind of the backwards running of that same process. As we know, our external realm is a mirror of us and our experience. But what if we create something externally that also reflects that back to us as well? You know how they say, looking good makes you feel good, and then also feeling good makes you look good. It's a two-way street. Some people lean a little one way or the other, but the mushrooms want to let you know that you have walked every which way. You have seen probably a lot, maybe in your life or spiritually or materially. You've worked through a lot of energies, and you always come back to center. Now you've touched on a little bit of everything, and there's a little sapling that is growing or thriving in every single area of your life. So now you get to decorate. Now you get to have fun. Now you get to perpetuate and add a little bit of sparkle, add a little bit of passion. So don't be afraid to get whimsical with it, and trust that what you're doing is already widespread, because you are a particle of consciousness. You are a wave in the grand ocean. You are a being of Earth. You are part of Earth. So everything that you are doing, you're also doing for Earth. Everything that you do for you, everything that you do for your consciousness, you're doing for Source. So trust that it is a two-way street. The messages that you have to give, you are also giving them to Source. That's why they say praying is talking to God and meditating is receiving the answer. And I'm just going to leave that there. Okay, group number 2, that was your channeled message from the mushroom realm. I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity on your situation. And as always, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful, magical realm. I'm so grateful that you were here. And if you want to listen to messages from the water realm, you can find the link to that video down on Lexi The Leo's channel in the description box below. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm sending you so much love, light, and gratitude. I will see you next time, and namaste. Hi there, group 3. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today I'm channeling a message to you from the mushroom realm, and you selected the third group with the DNA activation card. The first message that the mushrooms want to share with you is that your DNA is ascending like a ladder stage, essentially. As we know, we have a double helix 2-strand DNA. It's also been proven by modern day science that this is not actually the case. There's more complicated DNA than this within human beings, from different types of science that are thousands of years old, such as yoga science, such as spiritual knowledge. We're able to understand that there are several versions of more complex DNA within us. It is a matter of awakening them. Kind of like that old fallacy that we only use like 10% of our brains, when in reality, it is first highly individualized. This was not always the case, and this does not always have to be the case. It is merely an activation, an awakening, an ascending, kind of like when you go to the chiropractor and you need a spinal adjustment. Those vertebrae just have to get realigned, and sometimes it will get different fluids, like spinal fluid, running up your spine more clearly. The mushroom realm would like for you to go do something new or try something new. You have an opportunity for pattern disruption, and you're being encouraged to take it. This can be something small, such as you putting your pants on the other leg at a time first. It can be something medium, like you prioritizing things in an opposite order than you normally would. Or it can be very large, such as trying something new all by yourself that might be one of those situations that falls under the category of do it tired, do it scared, do it unsure, do it nervous, just do it, right? So with this opportunity for pattern disruption, this will be something that helps you unlock full capacity of this next level up or ascension of your DNA strands. This is actually really beautiful because it's going to give you an opportunity to experience the activation that you've recently had, which means that you perhaps have already come to this awareness, you've already come to this awakening, you've already had this clarity, and now it's time to act on it. It's time to move differently. As I'll say often, when it comes to spiritual ascension or the awakening process, when we learn something new, oftentimes it comes with unlearning something or unfolding perhaps an old framework that we've had. We see this a lot, most easily in relationships with others. And sometimes when we learn something and we try to figure it out so very hard, how we can fit it into our framework that we have, that's usually because there's something about the framework that is just off a little bit, or it's not expansive enough to hold these new truths. And so we see here this opening up, this pattern disruption that is encouraging you to create space, allow space, and as Lexi would say, move a little bit differently in alignment with this awakening of yours. So this is a light code on the back here. So this is meant to actually activate your DNA. There are going to be messages in here if you want to pause and hang out with this light code a little bit. There is intelligent information that is encoded in here for downloads and everything. So it seems that you're coming to the end of a cycle, and now it's time for the disruption. We're noticing that you're going to be crossing 2 different thresholds here, at the very least, before this becomes a pattern. And as you get used to this, you'll be falling out of this again and getting back into what would be your comfort zone. But don't worry, this will be a lucky streak for you. The mushrooms want to let you know that everything comes and goes. All energy moves and shifts and changes. So the things that you might be afraid of, the things you might be called towards doing or towards not doing, try to take it a little less personally. Try to remove yourself from the situation just a little bit more. Because in the grand scheme of things, who you are today is beautiful and inevitably not who you're going to be tomorrow. Whether or not you're aware of it, whether or not it's in a big way or a small way. So allow yourself to treat yourself a little bit differently every single day. They're showing me this shape here right in the middle, and it's showing me like the G sound in Korean, in Hangul. It looks like this, and it's like G. So there's something here about, they were also showing me Va in the middle of activation. So there's something here perhaps about going, or about having like a hard expression of something. There can be perhaps something that you have not been expressing, or something that you feel disinclined to express. This might actually be I'm hearing your straight shot out of where you are. And it might be something that you've tried to avoid for a while. So that's an interesting message coming through as well. The mushroom realm wants to get into the tarot cards now, so we'll go ahead and honor this. Messages please to group number 3 from the mushroom realm. It's interesting, I'm hearing them say you're aware of us. So perhaps you have spent time with mushrooms, maybe you are a mycologist yourself, maybe you are no stranger to plant medicine, or maybe you are very spiritually and psychically attuned to the fact where you're able to pick up on them. You're able to feel them in nature. You're able to feel their intelligence. You're able to feel their interconnectivity. I'm just hearing not to take these, so I will continue to shuffle. Messages please to group number 3 from the mushroom realm. Okay. Making sure the intention is set while you are moving, rather than moving out of habit because you had an intention and those habits get you towards what that intention was. Making sure that you reinstate your intention every time you move, every time you do something. That's coming out, because I noticed sometimes the vibration will just wash over the cards like a wave and they'll fall out while I'm talking. Other times it's important that I'm honoring my intention and sticking to it step by step while I shuffle the cards in my mind, my body, my spirit. It depends on the energy. And in this one, they're asking me to specifically show group number 3. I'm putting this energy into the cards. They're bringing the cards out. We have 46. I'm hearing 1946. Interesting. And I'm also hearing someone to watch over me. Ella Fitzgerald. Interesting. Seemingly random, but nothing really is. So we have a lot of red here, and it's coming out as alarming. The mushroom realm wants to let you know that you have completed some tough physical cycles in your life, but now you're opening up to the intuitive awareness of them, the way that it's built, the building blocks of who you are, and the way that you can use this to further activate your soul's mission, the way that you can actually use this to create something new, but later down the line. Because as we know, in, for example, the zodiac, or in astrology, the 12 houses, 1 through 10, it's going to be a physical cycle, a cycle that occurs in your physical life. Now 11, this is realization. It's realizing spiritually why this was important for you, why this made you who you are. Also, how you can use this to activate something that will get the ball rolling in a humanitarian sense. First, it is spiritual realization. Then it is the humanitarian version of that aspect that is sharing this light with others. And then 12, the Piscean energy. It is coming back to that innocence, that purity, that detachment. It's also allowing space for visualization and daydream. And I'm hearing someone say Delulu land. Okay, I don't subscribe to that, but I think it's cute. Okay, I get it. And also we see here I think this is the Othala rune on her arm. it also kind of looks like the ingwas a little bit. There's kind of this energy here coming out through the shape of ancestral healing, healing from your childhood, perhaps allowing yourself to understand your true essence, but also the fertility that lies underneath it all. This is kind of perhaps showing in sequential pattern how far each ancestor that came before you would have perhaps been able to carry this energy and then pass it on to the next. And so there's this energy here of you finding freedom through love, through traveling, through breaking the rules. And the mushroom realm is coming through to let you know that we have a 10. By finding freedom through love, by finding freedom through self-expression, by finding freedom through rest, by unsubscribing to what you are kind of told as opposed to what is true, this gives you the opportunity to close something out. And now you're having this DNA activation, this realization that is allowing you to move forward with pure intentions, not just kind of on autopilot because this is what you were taught, not on autopilot because this is what you think you're supposed to do, and not on autopilot because it's kind of beating around the bush in a certain area or just overemphasizing that as well. There's perhaps this energy here of noticing everyone, maybe in your ancestral line, maybe in your community, maybe in your friend group, everyone leaning so hard into one area of life and only one area of life that you feel perhaps the responsibility to balance it out all on your own. But in that avenue, say your ancestors really focus on something, so it is your part of your ancestral karma to then carry the torch away from that area and then to kind of emphasize this new area, kind of like a south node or north node kind of energy here coming out. But when you lean into one or the other, that is still unbalanced. So this is the journey here of you realizing that you've done your job and that true balance is at the axis point in the center. That you have a tool belt and you have your life path, but you're not meant to drop one and run towards the other. Common misconceptions that we see every day. But in reality, when it comes to a full balanced point, the point is not to have a more evolved astrological chart. The point is to cleanse it and ascend it so that we are just as balanced as the axis point in the middle. So the mushroom realm wants to let you know that you have made the right choice when it comes to, again, reprioritizing something or pattern disruption or going out on a limb and doing something. Okay, they want to let you know that you are making the right decision and that if it feels like it is perhaps unsupported by those around you who you are growing out of their patterns, leave it, let it be, okay? Okay, group number 3, messages please from the mushroom realm. A lot of love coming out. They love you, they want to show you an act of love. If you find yourself anywhere magical, this is so cute. If you find yourself anywhere magical recently or in the upcoming future, they want to let you know that there are little gifts and I'm hearing gifts and trinkets for you encoded all over this. So for example, if this pattern disruption has you taking yourself to a foreign land and you find out about the magic there, then there will be little gifts for you here from the mushroom realm and all that it embodies, little gifts for you. Maybe these are in the form of realizations, maybe in the form of friends, maybe in the form of understanding old memories or noticing other times when you were supported by beings from this realm. It seems as though, and perhaps this is something where you are tapping in with these energies and maybe you are just walking through your grocery store, but you're feeling like fae all around you. You're feeling the colors of the mushrooms. You're feeling the interconnectivity of everything. You're noticing how many mushrooms are everywhere. Maybe one day you take lion's mane or ashwagandha, but it takes you on a journey instead of just helping your brain be smarter. Instead, it helps your DNA activate. The underlying benefits, which are really the ones at the forefront. See, we have this flipping over a new leaf kind of energy coming out here. We have this 5 of Swords and the Tower coming out. They want me to pull the rest of the cards just for clarification's sake, so we'll do this. Knight of Swords with the Emperor, 7 of Cups, and the King of Wands. Okay. Okay. So your DNA activation. Okay, they don't want me to start here. I'm going to start where this is all even and clear. Okay, so we're starting where things are easy to understand. There are 369. Very easy. We have Fibonacci sequence, we have Nikola Tesla, we've got time, we have third dimensional energy up into the fourth dimensional, okay? Experiential. You've been resting, and every time that you give yourself a break, it ends up being lucky for you. And this luck makes you stand in your power and gives you more motivation in order to make the choices that are a little bit bolder. This is the universe egging you on in a sense. The mushroom realm wants you to be aware that what you are healing from is needing to be confused when you're following your intuition. Now, I'm not saying that you follow your intuition and that's what makes you confused, but there is an energy here of trying to make sure that you are receiving the right answer time and time and time again. This can be something like double checking, triple checking, saying, well, that doesn't make sense, or I don't see that in front of my face. Just little things where the universe is egging you on, which means that the information that you're getting, the things that you're being asked to do, the downloads that you're receiving, it's going to be a little bit larger than life, or seemingly. It's going to be in larger energies that are beyond what you're used to tapping into. Perhaps it is larger than what you're used to experiencing, or it is just having you do things more entirely differently than you would ever think. And this is why you're being egged on. You're kind of being nudged through the door, through the portal of a new chapter, so that you're able to have these changes that you've been trying to manifest. And we see here this kind of pickup note, as I like to refer to them when this occurs. We have the DNA activation, but we have the Three of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords, indicating that if there was someone there who had that good advice, who was willing to show you the blueprint, who was willing to show up and help you out in a way that was conductive to you, it would have been there. However, you're at this place of healing and resting from that not being there. And there's a reason for this, because your DNA activation was not meant to make it as far as those people in their ancestral processes could make it. It was meant to go as far as you can make it. And that, towards all of these energies here, towards these energies that would be coming towards you for teamwork, that would be coming towards you for support, to help you build, to help you out. I'm hearing outsourcing, those that you could have outsourced, those that could have helped you along. To them, it would be confusion, frustration, and a tower moment. But here we have you bravely, courageously facing these energies and saying, okay, well, this is what the universe is telling me, and I know that I'm going to listen. I know that this is helping me awaken and ascend, and I know that it's giving me more options in life. I know that it's what I'm passionate about, and I know that this is also the universe giving me a hug, giving me a kiss, giving me what I need. It's giving me my manifestations, because the universe doesn't say no. It only says yes, or yes and. And so because of this, the mushroom realm is encouraging you to keep on going. They're encouraging you to continue that pattern disruption, continue to do things a little bit differently than you normally would, because you are breaking out of this foundation that you've built yourself into, even though getting there did cause you to break down other foundations. However, this is by you doing this on your own, you rolling up the sleeves and deciding to make these shifts and changes. Now, you've done this before. You've also had it happen on your behalf by the universe, and the mushroom realm is saying this gets to be just as life-changing as all of those moments put together, but this is on your own accord. This is because of your DNA activation. This is because there's nothing left that you do not see. It is merely that if you're still trying to understand it, you are still walking through that doorway. You're still walking through the portal. Just like how they say in like Keylontics, for example, before you hit a singularity, before you hit a point, you go through an event horizon and everything gets discombobulated and shuffled around. So this is representing this Five of Swords here. But that blast of light, that's the Tower here. And this is all happening in your best interest. It has been, it will be. We're noticing that you're being drawn towards your true passions, towards what it is that you truly want, truly desire, and may feel that it's a bit unfeasible, and maybe feel that it will be in your highest interest to be as high vibrational as you possibly can in order to work your way there someday. But the mushroom realm is reminding you that someday is now. And you're being told to make this choice, and we have here, by you walking through this perhaps stress or confusion or lack of understanding or anxiety, by you observing it and still making the choice anyway, making the divine choice. I love this combination of cards. I love when the Lovers comes out with the Seven of Cups, because it kind of indicates that out of all the choices that you could have made, you made that choice. That is the choice that you made. You made the high vibrational one. You made the one that leads you to union with the divine. You took the choice that led you towards DNA activation. You didn't take the choice that was comfortable and had you going at 20 miles an hour. You took the choice that was visibly uncomfortable and created tower moments in your life. And when you could have followed the route of least resistance, which we're often encouraged to do, primarily with manifestation, you instead decided to roll up your sleeves. And so in return, you're being led to your passion. And so you're feeling this friction, but the friction is positive. It's getting you to where you want to go, because you already have the tools. You already have your DNA up-leveled enough to be able to shed everything between you and what it is that you truly desire. Because internally, when it comes to you as a person, when it comes to your foundation, when it comes to your masculine energies, your feminine energies, when it comes to your balance, your everyday life, your inner child, your higher self, the luck in your life, your ability to transform and change and grow and ascend and all of these beautiful things, you have this on lock. So now what about you, Group 3? The Mushroom Realm's encouraging you to go for what it is that you want, what it is that you desire, what you are truly passionate about. Regardless of what you feel your soul's mission is, regardless of what you feel your inner child would have wanted, regardless of what you feel is healthy for your balance, for your masculine, your feminine. And it's not because what you're called towards is in spite of any of these things. That is the confusion. The confusion is perhaps that you're not supposed to want what it is that you want, or that you kind of know what the jackpot choice is, what the jackpot dream manifestation is, and instead of looking at the different choices and saying, well, maybe I can fall a little bit short. If you shoot for the moon, at least you'll land among the stars. No. The universe showed you, hey, go for the moon. And so you start going for the moon. And so instead of stopping when you get tired, instead of letting yourself be confused because you lost your way a little bit, or frustrated because you notice that things are changing, maybe your body's changing shape, maybe your emotions are changing shape, maybe certain things are coming back around that you didn't experience before, or that you didn't expect to come back around again. These things are beautiful because these energies are showing you why you've been through all that you've been through in order to make it to this landing point where you experience the life of your dreams. So here we have the universe propelling you forward. We have the Mushroom Realm egging you on, literally, to stand in your power and probably do less. And we have this Ankh on his arm here indicating activation, shaking up energy too. Kind of like a bell, how it disperses energy, but it's also activating. It was often used on one's like crown of the head or the third eye for an activation point for these portals. And we have Seven of Cups indicating the emotion. Yes, this is decisions, but Seven of Cups, this is the emotion that goes behind having that faith, having that surrendering moment, having that choosing. Did I choose right? Did I choose wrong? Is the universe choosing right? Is the universe choosing wrong? 7, crown chakra, cups, emotions. That emotion behind divine surrender. 5, that expression of all of the things going on in your mind. That change when it comes to the way you express yourself. All of these things, this alchemization going on. It is transporting you like through the tower. They're showing me someone like flying or like astral projecting, or maybe, I don't know, but they're showing me somebody like flying through, kind of like these butterflies actually, through a tower moment, and they're seeing it, but they're seeing it from an external perspective. Like maybe this is, like, say this is your ancestral karma and it's burning and it's coming down to the ground in a beautiful way, in a transcendent way, violet flame. But you instead are floating past it. But as you pass it, you look down and you still get to see it. You honor that it was there. You send them some love. You honor and respect that situation, but you're no longer feet on the ground dealing with the flames. And so they're showing me like this butterfly. You've already transformed. You're already the butterfly. These butterflies look like they are like dispersing into the ether. They look magical. They look like they are like ascending. Like they look like they are in Mahasamadhi. Like they're just having a phenomenal time. And so the Mushroom Realm wants you to know, group number 3, that you are, in a way, entering uncharted territory. But it's exactly what you've been dreaming of since you were a little kid. It's exactly what you thought people could just do until someday you learned that that wasn't true, but it was. It was. It just takes a certain level of work, mind, body, and spirit, DNA activation. Now, it's not the same for everyone, but everyone doesn't have the same burdens to carry. We are all part of one being, and that helps you have that vantage point, that external viewpoint that helps you kind of find the right central point in order to balance everything out. But the mushroom realm wants to come through today to let you know that there are so many toxins out there that are disguised as normal, healthy, everyday things. I'm hearing forever chemicals, so maybe take a look at those in your life. Maybe just do a little bit of research, not to scare you. Also, your mind creates your reality, right? But to look at the ways that toxins have been normalized and the way that medicine has been demoralized, and perhaps to challenge that. And I'm not saying to go consume plant medicine. I'm not saying to stop taking your Western medicine. I'm not telling you to go throw out every single forever chemical in your house. The message here is when it comes to feeding your soul, take another look at what you're told is healthy for you, what you're supposed to be doing, and take a look at what it is that you've always been passionate about. Fun fact, I once worked at a bank and I had a really big 401k and I cashed it in to buy a van. And everyone thought I was crazy. But the value versus the cost to me were so different. That was soul food. And there's just this energy here. They were showing me that. Like, in comparison with this energy, like, there is what you feel like you're supposed to do. And then there's what feeds your soul. There's what you are supposed to do. There's what you are told is normal and healthy, even though it might be a bit toxic. And there's what, I'm not telling you that saving for your future is toxic. That's not what I'm saying. But there's this energy of like, here's what you're told you're supposed to do. You put on the uncomfortable shoes, even though you have foot problems, and you go play Keeping Up with the Joneses in a bank wearing Louis Vuittons and Gucci belts for as long as you possibly can handle it, and be a fake version of yourself reading off of a script, dealing with other people's money all day. Or you break free and you travel the world and you cash in that 401k for a van and you flip your life upside down and you start from scratch and you get out of that relationship and you move forward and you honor your inner child and you put a swing in the middle of your house just because you feel like it. This is healthy. So, you are experiencing a DNA activation at the moment. And if you are tapped in with your crystalline blueprint, or you've been tapped in for a while, you're like, I am 12-strand DNA, I'm 14-strand DNA, there's 36, there's 48, there's 114, there's 144, there's also a clear and open channel, yes. Wherever you are, your DNA is activating, it is ascending, it is not a competition, and the only thing here is that we are going in our own upward direction, individually. But there is a DNA activation going on here. And this DNA activation will open up doors for you that run parallel to, but also very different looking from your regular everyday life. You'll realize that you're called to act in ways that are disrupting the patterns of maybe yourself and or those around you and or your ancestral line. And you'll notice that you become more effortlessly in touch with your inner child, the version of you that had all your spiritual and psychic gifts, the version of you that remembered being born and carried in the womb, the version of you that remembered where you were before your consciousness got streamed into that embryo. This is the version of you that has full access to whatever you want in this world. They're showing me in Pirates of the Caribbean, where they're like following the pirates code, and they're like, well, it's more like a guideline. And they're kind of showing me like the rules of Earth, the rules of the Matrix, the rules of maybe your family line. Well, really more like guidelines. So allow yourself to adjust. Just like when you go to the chiropractor and you get a spinal adjustment, or you start going back to Pilates or whatever it is that you're out there doing, you might feel a little bit tired after. You might feel a little bit of soreness in those areas that are realigned. You might feel a random headache. You might feel random things. This is not in any way asking you to stop, but it is asking you perhaps to rest if you need to rest, reach out if you need to reach out. It's telling you to trust the process. And if you don't see what that perfect choice is, but you feel encouraged to make one, meditate on it a little bit, sleep on it, eat some food, take a shower, pull out those herbs, pull out that incense. You know what to do. Allow yourself to make or experience the moves that make you uncomfortable and see where you grow into from that place. I set this intention a really long time ago, and I still do intermittently, that every single thing that comes out of my throat chakra is universally true, whether or not I'm aware of it, whether or not I like it, whether or not it's comfortable for me. But that is something that I've been meditating on every single day since I was a little kid. And it's something that I'm like, screw me, like screw my ego. Speak truth. Speak truth. Even if I don't know what the truth is, it's going to come out of my mouth anyway. And now I'm a channeler. But sometimes, we say things that are uncomfortable, and it checks us and it realigns us. And then we continue to say things that are true, and then it checks us and realigns us. We continue to tap in with that. And whether it's through your throat chakra, whether it's through your sense of self, whether it's through going out on a limb and your little pattern disruption things, let yourself explore. The mushroom realm would like to ask you, if you were looking at just the entire universe and you're just seeing all of the energies, if you have synesthesia, this may be a bit easier, but if you don't, just follow me here. If you see all of the energies of the universe, or you see everything as energy from a universal place, and then back down to this earth, and then back down to your life, but you're coming from a place of your soul, your spirit, from your perhaps oversoul, or from source, or whatever perspective you are at consciously. What do you do with these energies? How do you move them and change them and shift them? Because when you are in this place, you are able to create your own destiny, see from a place higher than this current life, your inner child, your higher self, or even bits and pieces of you that you may have been in past, present, future, parallel lifetimes, letting go of all egoic attachments, all attachments to sense of self, and allowing you to see non-judgmentally, from an external perspective, so-and-so's calling is to do this, and this is what they want, and this is what they need, and this is what fulfills them. So this is what they will do, and this is how they will move towards it. Express and act on what it is that your soul needs, not your body, not your environment, not what you feel like you're supposed to want or need, not from a place of feeling like everything would just be better if you had this or that or anything like that. From an external, non-judgmental perspective, what is it that your soul needs? Your soul, not your body, not your heart, not your mind, not your life, not your bank account, your soul. And when you release attachment to any of the other things, you notice how extremely possible it is to manifest these particular things that feed your soul, because you're not putting yourself under the confines of, well, I need this first, because you don't. Because there are at least 10 different ways that you can go about receiving or going about any other different thing in the entire universe. And putting yourself, it has to go this way, I have to have this so that I can have this so that I can build this and then end up there, that is confining yourself. And the universe doesn't like to be micromanaged. So allow yourself to give yourself what your soul needs and let it come to you gently, easily, and when it shows up, run towards it fortuitously. They're showing me again someone walking through a door and being afraid to step the other foot through. You want to be on the other side of the door. It's just that you might be looking back or going over those sweet memories of what lied before. They're showing me the Matrix, red pill or blue pill. Give your soul what it needs. Your life should be nothing other than soul food. You're not here to clean up the mess of other people. You're not here to try to heal as far as you can. You are not here to do someone else's bidding. You are merely here to live and learn. And there are things that you are here to live and learn that everyone else is not. And the same goes for every individual. So go towards the things that you want to live, and you will learn the things that you didn't know existed yet. And as you learn, it will give you more inspiration to live. And that will be how you fall into alignment with the true you, who you've always been, who you always will be. And that is how you revitalize your inner child, become your version of successful, merge with your higher self, tap in with your intuition, live a miraculous life, learn how to manifest. But it is only by you walking your path that you are able to see where it leads. No one else can do that for you, and no one else can do that entirely with you. So, allow yourself to have completed this physical cycle, and don't be afraid to step through the door when it cracks you open into the spiritual realm. Through this realization, you will be finding yourself living more of a daydream. I'm hearing the song Daydream Believer by the Monkees. Allow yourself to act on your soul's heart, not just the heart of the person that you've been and the life that you've walked through. Because that can be oh so limiting, especially when you have the capacity to simply see from a different perspective, especially when it's what you wanted all along. You'll realize that that voice didn't come from your true inner self that was telling you to hyperfixate on it. And you'll release it, and you'll send love along with it, and you get liberated. Okay, group number 3, I hope that helped shed love, light, and clarity on your situation. That is your channeled message from the mushroom realm. If you want to hear messages from the water realm, you can check out the link to that video on Lexi The Leo's channel below in the description box. Thank you so very much for being here, and I'm sending you all my love, light, and gratitude. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful, magical realm. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like this video. Don't forget to check out Lexi's, as this is a collaboration, and I love her. Go support her channel if you don't already. So, with all of that being said, thank you for being here, and I will see you next time. Namaste.